Once a boy lived in a small town. One day during school summer holidays, he came to meet his grandfather. He used to play with his grandpa during his holidays. One day he asked his grandpa, "Grandpa, I want to become a successful man when I grew up. Please tell me some ways to be successful in my life." Grandfather noted in yes and took him to a nearby nursery from nursery. They bought two small plants and came back home. Grandpa planted one plant in a mud planter inside the house and planted other plant outside the house. "What do you think, which of these two plants will grow better in future?" The boy thought for some time and then replied, "I think the plant which we planted inside the house will grow better because it is safe from every danger, while plant we planted outside is at risk of many things like heavy rain, strong sunlight, thunderstorm, and also the animals." Grandfather smiled and said, "Let us wait and see what happens in future." After that, the boy came back his home. The time passed, and after 5 years, Boy 1 again came to visit his grandfather again. When Boy saw his grandfather, he asked him, "Grandfather, last time I asked you a question, how to be successful in life, but you did not answer me. But this time you have to tell me." Grandfather looked at the boy and smiled and said, "Sure, but first let us take a look at plants that we planted few years back." Saying this, grandfather took Boy to a place where they had planted small plant inside the house. They saw that the small plant had turned into a big plant. Then he took Boy to look at the plant which they had planted outside. They saw that a big tree had grown out of a small plant, its branches spread far and wide. Grandfather looked at Boy and asked, "Now what do you think, which plant grew more, and which is more successful and why?" The boy replied, "The one we planted outside." "But grandfather, how is this possible? That plant must have faced so many dangers during all this time." "But still it grew so big." Grandfather smiled and said, "Yes, plant outside the house had to face many hard things, but dealing with problems had its benefits too. Plant outside had freedom to spread its roots as much as it wanted. Problems like thunderstorm and heavy rain, powerful wind made its roots even stronger. Today it is so strong that a small storm cannot cause any harm to it. While the plant we planted inside remained small, and also the weak one, because it did not face any problems, it did not face the heavy storms, rain, and strong sunlight." Then Grandpa looked at his grandson and said, "My son, always remember that unless you go through difficulties, unless you struggle in your life, you too will not be able to achieve success in your life. If you will make comfortable choices, then you will not be able to grow as you want. And if you are ready to struggle and go through difficulties and ready to face problems in your life, then no goal is impossible for you to achieve. Therefore, never think of problems as hurdles, but think of them as stepping stones towards success." The boy took a long breath and started looking at tree. The words of his grandfather were hitting his mind. Obstacles which we consider as enemies in our life, the same obstacles makes us stronger and more successful in our life. If we see in our lives, then we will find that in our lives we have to face challenges and difficulties, due to which many times we get disappointed and lose the courage to move forward. But the story of two plants teaches us not to be disheartened by challenges, but to embrace them as an opportunity to learn and grow. Like a plant that was planted outside had to face natural calamities, but with this it also had the freedom to spread its roots and grow stronger, and thus it transformed into a strong and big tree. But the plant that was planted inside was saved from natural calamities, but it remained small and weak. From this we get to learn that the more difficulties and challenges we face in our life, the more the path of success will open for us. It teaches us that we should not be afraid to take risks and step outside our comfort zones when we face challenges. We have the opportunity to learn and grow stronger. Of course, overcoming all challenges is not easy. There will be times when we feel defeated or discouraged, but it is important to remember that these are only temporary setbacks. If we learn from them and keep moving forward, we will eventually overcome any challenges that comes in our way. So the next time you face a challenge or face difficult time in your life, don't give up. Take advantage of the opportunity to learn and grow. And always remember that the challenges you face today can make you stronger and more successful tomorrow.